Hey, what is up, everyone? So, if you've ever wondered what it's actually like being a voice actress in Japan, then you definitely will want to check out this video because I got this exclusive interview where I actually interviewed Kimberly, the voice actress of Faye from Fire Emblem, as well as being a host on the popular NHK channels in Japan. So if you want to know what it's really like being a voice actress in Japan, then please smash that like button for the sushi gods of YouTube. Alright, so Nikkei Canadajin here, and today I have a very special guest joining us. This person has worked as a dialogue and audition prep coach for professional Japanese actors in such films such as The 47 Ronin, Emperor, and Ready Player One. And not only that, but she has worked on projects with Sega, Nintendo, Square Enix, and Bandai, and many more. And to top it all off, she has been the featured voice on popular NHK radio and TV shows, and is actually the host of the hit NHK video program Kiso I Go To. Kimberly, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. And so, just for those who might not know about you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself first, like where you're from, how long have you been in Japan, and what kind of projects are you working on right now?
So I've been in Japan for 15 years, and I'm from upstate New York, from a really small town called Penyan. Yeah.
All right.
And it's like 6 hours from New York City in an area called the Finger Lakes, which is beautiful. There's a lot of lakes.
And I really guess that.
Famous for wine. Yeah, the Finger Lakes. There's like 6 lakes, or actually I think 5 big lakes and 1 tiny lake.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's the Finger Lakes. Yeah.
But
my town is really small. It's not even a town, it's a village. The village of Penyan. And the population is about 1 Tokyo train, maybe 1 train carriage.
Wow.
It's about 5,000 people. Yeah. Maybe 3 carriages, but that's what it feels like. So everybody knows you. They all say hi. You know, they know your parents.
That's great.
If you do anything bad, you'll be grounded by dinner.
Oh, so word gets around pretty quickly then, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's great to hear. And so you said you've been in Japan for 15 years now.
15
wow. That's great. And you've done so many different projects and been on so many different kinds of creative media. That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, I've had a really amazing career here. So I think that, you know, for anybody who's sitting on the fence thinking that you can't do what you want to do, I think you can, because, you know, I always wanted to be in entertainment and to work in this industry. And I had a lot of opportunities to work on bigger projects than maybe even I would have in the States. So
that's really great to hear. Yeah, definitely. Follow your passions, right? And so I am curious for you, though, how did you decide to start to get into voice acting in the first place? I mean, there's so many different avenues to choose from. Why voice acting?
Well, I've always been an actress. So I've always been an actress and a director. And, you know, throughout your life as a woman, I think that, you know, you get older and your body becomes less the kind of body that people want to see on video. So you're like, maybe voice acting is better for me. So I'm a mom and I have 2 kids. So I don't need to worry about my physical appearance so much, and I can really focus on just acting when it's voice acting. Okay. So I like that. It's relaxing for me. You know, I don't have to hit the gym every day. And I'm not tall. I'm not tall and thin. I'm not like a model type. So I think that, you know, there's a kind of particular type that people imagine foreign women are like, that are tall and blonde, like Gwyneth Paltrow. And I'm more like Janine Garofalo. You know, I don't know if you know her, but she's like a kind of short, chunky comedian. So I'm more that kind of girl. So I think that I get a lot more work and a lot more success in voice acting than I would on video, but I do some video projects.
Oh, that's great to hear. So yeah, and I'm curious for yourself then, you've voiced so many different kinds of voices. For yourself, what are some of the most memorable ones for you?
Oh, one of the most memorable series I did was with a really amazing actor named Stuart O. He's a great performer. And we did a series for Sanrio and Fuji Television. It was an anniversary, anniversary show for Hello Kitty. So we got to
Oh,
play
wow.
every character except Hello Kitty, who didn't speak, which was a little weird. I was like, my agent called me and she's like, "You're gonna be Hello Kitty," and I was like, "Wow, I
Wow.
made it." And then I got there and they're like, "Oh, Kitty doesn't talk." And I was
Wait,
like,
what?
"Kitty doesn't talk." I mean, like they said I was Kitty. So I had my diva moment, and then no, I wasn't Kitty. I played a bear, like a Russian bear, and a stuffed bear. And I
Okay.
played an owl who is a ninja
A
owl.
ninja
And
owl. Wow.
yeah, those were the two main characters. And then we played all the parts. So I was all the women and he was all the men.
Wow,
Except for
that's
a
great.
cuckoo clock. They didn't
A-
like how I did that. So somebody else.
There's
did
a cuckoo clock too? What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The woman, the manager from Sanrio, she's like, "No, I know how to do it." So she did that one. It was great.
all right then.
Cool. That's cool. Like anybody who's in the studio can just jump in and be in the show. It was
Wow.
for cameo.
Your
It
cameo
was
there.
really fun.
Just jump in.
Yeah.
All right.
But actually we went to a party and they made toys out of our characters and it was so fun.
Really?
I was like, there's merchandise. That was really
Oh
cool.
my gosh.
And we took photos with some big poster boards and I was like, I'm a star.
Wow, that's fantastic to hear.
I had a taste of fame, like for one night.
Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, like,
It was fun.
I think like even getting the call to be like, "Hey, you're gonna be on Hello Kitty. You're gonna be Hello Kitty." Even that, I'd be like, "Holy crap, yes!"
Oh,
Even
totally.
though she didn't speak, but
Oh, Hello Kitty was so big when I was a kid. I grew up in the late 70s and 80s because I'm very old. And Sanrio was huge. Everything Japanese was huge. All of
Yeah.
those shows that they wrote new stories for, like Voltron, or
Oh yeah,
they
I
just
remember
like
Voltron.
took the old footage and they just wrote a new story. Like we love that kind of stuff. Robotech, Transformers,
Yes, Transformers.
all that kind of stuff is like, yes, I love it.
I totally understand that. But speaking of like Japanese shows, I'm curious for yourself though, like why did you initially choose Japan to do like this kind of starting your career as voice acting?
I didn't choose Japan. I was already married to a Japanese guy. So, he wanted to come back to Tokyo. He's from Tokyo. So I was an actress in the States and I was working in the States.
Okay.
I worked for a theater company in Philadelphia called Brat Productions at that time. And I was the administrator and assistant director there. And I was also a freelance opera director.
Wait,
So I was
opera
going around the
director?
country. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Wow,
I
that's
was working
great.
assistant director for opera, and I met my future husband. So I was already working in this industry in the States, and then he said, "I want to move back to Japan," and I was like, "Oh, big adventure! Yeah, okay, I'll go with you." And but I was like, "No, ring on it," and then you have to let me have a dog. There were two conditions. I was like, "I'm not going anywhere as your girlfriend, and I need a dog." So. He was like, "Well, I was going to ask you to marry me anyway." And was like, "Well,
where is it?
Time about it." So using my leverage.
I think those are two very reasonable conditions, especially the dog. That was a good call, I think. But so I'm curious. So for those two conditions, then for yourself to actually move to Japan and kind of start a brand new life, what kind of dog did you want to get? That's the most important question.
We got a corgi named Ein, named after the dog in Cowboy Bebop, because we used to watch that together and really loved it. So I had a gorgeous corgi named Ein for 12 years, and he passed away a few months after my second baby was born. So
sorry to hear.
He was my best friend when I moved here.
But to have that kind of bond for 12 years, especially in a different country, that must have been really special, really something to have.
It was great. It was great because I think everybody has their, like, the 2 to 3 year mark when you're like,
yeah,
I can't survive. Like, you got me through the first hump.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Like, it's so different here.
Yeah, different culture, different language, like everything, right? So just have
everything. It's totally crazy.
So I think you're right. Like to have something familiar, it really helps you adjust. Like definitely, I definitely agree with that. for yourself, what kind of voices do you generally like to do?
Well, I don't really get a choice about that. You have voice acting it's all about voice selection. So,
Okay.
one of your list questions was how do you get into voice acting?
Yeah.
So that I can answer right now. So you have to create a demo that shows off your voice in the kind of areas that you want to work. So
Okay.
in Japan, the major areas you can work are commercial,
Yep.
educational, or entertainment.
Okay.
So that's more like we call it legit in the States. So commercial and legit are sort of the two areas in the US. It doesn't really make any sense. Like legitimate means real performances, like real characters.
Okay, got it.
And then commercial is you've sold your soul to make money. So it's kind of horrible the way actors talk about jobs. It's like legit is like real entertainment, and commercial, which is where you just make a lot of money.
So it's like a totally
But
separate category then.
yeah, it's like Betsu, right? It's not
Oh,
the same.
gotcha. Okay,
So,
that's interesting.
but for an actor here,
Yeah.
you're going to be doing mostly commercial work because Japan is a huge exporter of products. So
Okay.
we are, kind of the fronting face for what's being exported. And in this case, it's not like big TV
Yeah.
commercials for the domestic market. We do some of that, but really it's like product manuals or repair videos for heavy industry for outside. And we're promoting or teaching people about Japan's technology and how to maintain it. So that's cool. It's really fun. I love that kind of technical narration. My husband's an engineer
Oh, wow.
and I really like technical stuff. I was in the stage crew a lot when I was in school. So I really enjoy that kind of work. And I learned drafting and welding and all of that when I was in school
Wow, that's
because
great.
I thought they might be good fallback skills to have if I couldn't make any money as an actress. I was like, I'll just be a draftsman or a welder because I watched Flashdance a lot when I was growing up.
There you
So
go.
welding it's an option for girls. I knew that. And lucrative. So
That's
I
really
really
true.
thought like welding and art could go together well. I never ended up getting a job welding, but I did get extra work as a laborer, like
Okay.
doing carpentry crew, or we call it load in and load out. So if you do like heavy physical work. So I did do some of that to make money when I wasn't
Yeah.
making a lot of money. Because everybody knows you have to have many jobs when you're a performer
Oh, I can
for a
imagine
while
for that.
until you can make a career for yourself. You have to kind of do whatever you can do. So I
Oh,
used to
yeah.
also do some sewing or like
Sewing as well.
costume work.
So
So
you've
we
like
do
you've
alterations.
wow. So you've worn so many different kinds of hats throughout your entire career, from
Yeah.
welding to stage management, that to voice acting. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's like the main thing is you have to decide what areas you want to work in, and then you make the demo
Yeah.
to feature your voice working in those areas. So if you want to be a technical narrator like me, then you'll be reading stuff like about medicine or
Okay.
about heavy industry, and you prepare some samples showing off your ability to do that well. And then, we also make samples for educational narration. That's something that a lot of people are going to be doing if you speak English and you come to Japan. So you have to show off that you have great pronunciation, that you can speak really clearly, and that you can kind of bring some character to textbook stuff like sample conversations.
All right.
So in those areas, you do some acting, but I would say it's a little bit more like schmacting. It's a little bit more like it kind of dips into clowning, because you're like playing a really strong character. It's not necessarily like a real truthful performance kind of thing.
Is it more like over the top, like you see in like Japanese school textbooks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like playing little kids or playing their mom or playing a grandma. So it's it's a little bit like clowning.
Okay, gotcha.
That's fun though. That's fun. It's like character or cartoon work. And then for entertainment stuff, we don't do a lot of that work, because people aren't consuming English entertainment here, like serious
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, legit entertainment. On the rare occasion, you'll get some work like that in video games. But
Okay.
it may not be serious acting either. They may want character voices for video games too. So it really depends.
All right. So that's really interesting. If you're looking to get into any kind of those industries that you just talked about, do you think it's beneficial to have an agent who kind of acts on your behalf, or is it better to just
Yes.
like go out there and just apply for yourself?
No, you have to have an agent. So you have to first make a demo. So
Okay.
you kind of decide like what do you want to work on the most? Do you want to work on commercials or educational or technical narration? Make a demo that shows off
Yeah.
your work in those areas, and then you submit it to agents, and the agents
Okay.
are going to get jobs for you. It's not just like any entertainment industry. It's not something you can just break into by yourself, because people are not going to work with somebody
Yeah.
they don't know.
So it's all about networking and who you know within that industry.
Well, yeah, it's definitely your agent's doing the networking, but you need to prove that you're a reliable and professional person, that you can deliver
Yeah.
and that you show up on time and that you're prepared. So all of that stuff, if you have any background in entertainment, you
Mhm.
will know already. And then if you're new to it, because anybody could try, anybody could give it a shot, then you may need to like level up your professionalism. I think if you've never been in a theater play, or you've
Yeah.
never worked on set, or you've never tried to voice act before, there are a lot of professional customs that
Mm.
that are traditional, like in entertainment around the world. So
Okay.
you have to kind of learn those skills. They're people skills,
Oh,
you
fair
know?
enough there.
Yeah.
But definitely like how do you talk within a specific industry and how do you act around other people too. I definitely agree
Yeah.
with that.
Some of it's common sense, but the fact is, when you're an actor, you're very highly paid, and you're paid by the hour usually. So you come in, especially a voice actor, you
Yeah.
come in and your job is to deliver. So you're the talent.
Mhm.
So you need to be ready to perform immediately. You don't get to like warm up, or you don't get to say no to ideas. So you have to be a really open person, and you
Okay.
have to be an adventurous person, and you have to be a pleasant person. There's things that maybe the average person, they have these freedoms, like I don't have to do this if I don't want to.
Okay.
But if you're an actress or a model,
Yeah.
you don't have that choice. You're like, this is your outfit and you're going to put it on and rock it no matter what. So, there's a professional attitude that performers have that it's different than like regular work.
Okay, got
So
yeah.
everyone will have to cultivate that among themselves. I mean, like if you don't, you won't work. So they'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have to have a certain
Yeah.
skill set that they're looking for, and hopefully you have that skill set to work in that industry.
You
Or else-
have it. You gotta have
yeah,
it.
like you said, yeah.
The it factor, if you have it, you'll know. Everybody knows that person that has it. So
Fair enough. But I think
they're
more
looking
than
for you.
yeah, fair enough there. But I think more than that too, because you also have to have like a really thick skin if you're going into that entertainment industry as well.
Absolutely, because you will not get every job, and you may even be fired. Like that doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. And you're going to be competing with your friends all the time. So you have to be able to deal with rejection. You have to be able to be pleasant. You have to be able to work with anybody at any time, including people you don't like. And
Fair
you
enough.
have to, you have to be to have a tough skin, because if they don't like what you're doing, you will hear it and you need to adjust. You need to adjust.
Fair enough there. Yeah, thank you for that advice. I really appreciate it.
Mm.
And I'm also curious, like for yourself, because we kind of talked about like what kind of qualities you should have if you're going into this industry. For yourself though, what's like if you have a project that you're working on, for example, what's kind of like a normal day like for you?
A normal day, like if I'm talking about my ideal day,
Yeah.
I probably have 3 sessions. That's kind of the ideal best day. You're not going to
Okay.
usually have more than 3, because it takes you an hour to get there. Your job could be 1 to 3 hours.
So that's
Then
per
you're going to
session
have
then, right?
per
Oh, okay.
session. Typically jobs are 1 to 3 hours. Occasionally you'll get like a 5-hour job, but that's rare. It's pretty rare.
Wow.
So usually it's 1 hour to 3 hours max
Okay.
per session. Then you're going to get to the next studio 1 to 3 hours per session, get to the next studio 1 to 3 hours per session. So you
Wow.
can pretty much fit 3 into a day reliably. And then, I don't know, some people may sneak in a 4th job or a 5th job, but that's
a lot of sessions.
That's a lot of sessions. And it takes a lot of energy to talk for 3 hours. If you've got a 3-hour job, that takes a lot of energy out of you. So you don't just need to get to the next studio. You need to kind of like recover a little bit.
Okay. So
yeah. And I think for actors,
yeah.
it's a little bit better because usually you book 1 session. I can't imagine an actor doing 3 sessions a day here. If you were doing on-camera work, that would be, you're superhuman.
That's a lot.
Because their sessions are much longer, because they need hair, makeup, costume.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like if you're a voice actor, your booked time is your working time. Like you don't get big breaks. You get in there and you do your thing and you finish, and then we're released.
Really? Yeah. That's interesting. So like, for example, if you have 3 sessions in a day, you go to your first session, you get the script or whatever it is, you read it out, then you just automatically go to the next location or the next session.
Typically, if you have finished early, you're released. Typically, if there's a client coming to approve your work, then you may need to wait.
Okay.
But typically, you should know about when you're going to finish because you have to plan your day. So they're pretty good about letting you know when you're going to be done for sure. So you have to stay up until that point if you're not finished. But if you're done, you could be released early and you get some time back, which is nice.
So you get some time to relax. That's to recover.
You can, have a coffee and eat something.
Just to actually have time for yourself. I get that. That's nice to hear. So I am curious though, like for each session, like once you go into the studio, do you just go directly to the booth and just like do the job that's required of you and then that's it?
Well, pretty much, yes. It's kind of like that. You go in and there's sometimes a aisatsu period, so you'll do greetings and then you need to get in the booth, and that happens pretty fast. Because actually, if it doesn't happen fast, then your job can get late. Nobody really wants to sit around and chat. Like the worst case scenario is like the translator's there and they want to fix the script before you start.
Okay, then you have to wait around, right?
Sometimes bad. So
really?
Really want to encourage them to fix it on the fly, like while we're working. Because voiceover takes a long time. Voiceover takes a long time to finish. Like the average job, the final product is between 3 to 6 minutes for a 1-hour job.
Wow, for a 1-hour job.
Yeah, if you have a 10-minute or a 30-minute video, you're going to be working for 3 hours to get it done.
Wow.
So if you consider somebody's going to start eating into your time and you have a 30-minute video and they want to sit there and chat about the script for an hour, like that's awful. Then you won't be able to finish. Then you have overtime and your whole day is like going to be a mess.
So as long as everyone kind of does their own part, then everything should be fairly smooth.
Yes. And if there's some trouble, you want to try to fix it like as you're working. So if anybody's new in doing this job, I really recommend like you want to get going as soon as possible.
That's actually a really nice tip because your time is valuable, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not like that's something you can never do. Like you cannot hold up the session. That's like the actor cannot cause a waste of time.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And so I am curious then, like for yourself, because you've worked both in the United States and in Japan, what are some of the different customs between the 2 countries that you've noticed? Or is there any?
I want to say it's really similar, to be honest. Like the level of professionalism here is the same as the United States. A lot of the customs are the same. So I think that, I think that the work ethic is very similar between both of the countries.
Okay, that's great to hear because I know like for some Japanese workplaces, you always hear like you have to come like an hour early before the job starts or else you're not seen as a good worker. It sounds like that's not necessarily the case for voice acting.
No, I mean, you need to be on time, which means early. But I mean, you don't need to be there an hour before.
Okay. Oh, that's good to hear. So ideally, when would you want to arrive? Like 10 minutes before or
10 to 15 minutes before
okay.
your call time is what's best.
All right, fair enough there. And if someone is planning on getting into voice acting, into the entertainment industry in Japan, like you have and you are, what are the three main tips or big pieces of advice that you can give them?
Well, I mean, if you want to be a voice actor, you have to have a great demo and you have to have a great attitude and you have to have some hustle, right? You need to meet people and show them that you're great to work with and that you're fun and you have an amazing personality. And those are the three most important things that you need.
So it sounds like it really comes down to having like very good social skills with other people.
I think so. I think actors in general have excellent social skills. They're storytellers. They have a
Oh yeah.
desire to tell stories. And, if you're a commercial actor, you use your storytelling skills to sell. So it is a sales kind of job. And if you're a legit actor, you use your storytelling skills to really affect people emotionally. So those things that you learn in any kind of performance training are useful, no matter what language you're working in. Those things are universal. Your ability to really connect with other
Yeah.
people and to make them feel something is what's important.
I definitely agree with you. I think it was a famous quote that said, people will forget who you are, they'll forget your name, but what they won't forget is how you made them feel. So
For sure.
I definitely agree with that. And so thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. So last part, the speed round. So I'm just gonna ask you some questions.
What?
And the first thought that comes into your mind, if you could just say it, that'd be
Okay.
great. Okay?
All right.
All right. So let's see, I got my list of questions right here as well. Okay, so first question. What is your favorite anime?
My favorite anime is
Favorite
Cowboy
anime.
Bebop. I love it.
Oh, very nice. Well, you name your dog after the character in the show, so
My
very
favorite
nice
anime
choice.
character is Ein. Yes.
That's right. And what's your favorite Japanese food?
My favorite Japanese food is katsudon.
Good choice. And who do you look up to?
I look up to, I mean, as far as an idol, maybe David Bowie. I think he's amazing.
And
Yeah, I mean, he was
yeah.
he was not just a singer; he was also a painter, and he wasn't comfortable with his personality. So if you read about David Bowie, he studied like humor, how to tell jokes, and I think that's amazing.
That's great. And last question then. Could you tell us something that people may not know about you?
I don't know. People don't know about me. I just put everything on the internet, so I don't think I have very many secrets. Oh, I have a tattoo.
Oh,
Like a small one. Yeah.
what is it?
It's nothing. It's just some squiggly lines. It's this very small tattoo. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that secret.
Tattoo, that's my secret.
A big secret.
It's out now.
It is. It's out for the whole internet to see.
Oh my God.
Anyway, Kimberly, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And just before you go though, where can people reach you? Where can they find you at?
My at handles at LilyProJP. LilyProJP.
You heard that, LilyProJP. I'll put that in the description link in the box down below. Again, thank you so much, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
And you know what? Let me know what your biggest takeaway from this video was. And until next time, everyone, stay waku waku.